Okay. Sometime this evening I was well, which of this car? I think the 407 coupe. So one of the brake, I think the brake lights the rear brake lights, the bulbs failed. I think two of them. So I decided. I think I noticed that yesterday or 2 days ago. So I decided today to look at them to know why. So so while I was going to the, I also have a actually have a spare bulbs. So I was taking my time to check to see if I can replace it. So a boy, I don't know the age. I ought to have asked him how old is he. But probably 16, 17 years old or less. Who knows? These days, children do grow up very quickly. But it's a young boy who lives basically on my street. So he walked up to me, greeted, and so I could see he has some things on his mind he wanted to ask. So first he said um, that he has a mind. I think he probably writing his jam, so he want to seek for advice on what engineering course, uh, to apply for in the university. And according to him, he was contemplating on either electrical engineering or mechanical engineering. But then he mentioned there was a particular course. I'm trying to remember this course that combines the two. For the engineers, I probably will know the word. I think from what he's saying, it's a new course that combines both electrical and mechanical engineering. Is it metallurgical? Probably. I can't remember um, that course he said. So he wanted to know if probably he could go for that one and so that he could do the two. He said what actually prompted him to come to me was he was inspired, seeing me the way I have that passion working on my cars, taking time even in the middle of the night, working on my project vehicles. So so he wanted to know which one should he go for. Since he assumed I'm also an engineer, that probably the knowledge I have is gotten from uh, paper qualification maybe that I have. What's it even called? It's not BSc. I don't know. So that I have that paper qualification. Maybe I read an engineering course in university. So I wanted to know which course should he go for. Probably the one I did. So I told him no, I didn't have any science background in terms of um, formal education. Yeah, I did it in JS when I was in the seminary school. I think JS one or so, and that was it. Physics, chemistry, geography. Of course, some claim geography is not part of science. Anyway, so I told him, yeah, I have no business, I have no background. Didn't read as engineering in the school. That what he sees me doing is out of passion and interest. It's not just about being a hobby. Yeah, you could have a hobby for something, but if that passion is not there, but then it's supposed to be when you something happens, you do it not out of uh, benefit in terms of monetary aspect or to please people or anything. Hobby means something you just find yourself wanting to do, irrespective of inconvenience it might be, or you might find along the way. You just have to, you love doing it. So, yeah, you could call it hobby. But I always use the word. These two words, passion and interest. Two of them go together. You have interest in something. If you have no passion, you won't be able to achieve it or put it into practice. It's the passion that gets you going even when there is obstacle on the road. That was how I started. You know, I've told my stories. So I didn't get to where I am because it was that smooth from the one. No, it wasn't. But it kept me going because of I didn't care about those issues that I found on the way. Anyway, so I advise him that he should focus, or if I were him, and is interested in um automobile, going to automobile industry after his school, for tertiary education. If that's what the area or field of life he wants to venture into, or you know, develop himself into as a career, that he should probably go for electrical engineering, or maybe the other course he talked about. Metallurgical engineering, should it be anything that have to do with the two? I don't think so. I forgot to remember the word to use. Anyway, so it's not my headache. So I advise him, yeah, you have to consider electrical engineering, not mechanical. I understand some people, probably the engineers now, are saying, I mean, you don't have to do any of them if you want to go into auto industry as a technician. You can do any of the two. Yes, I get that, but you know, when I do things, it's not just about today. And to be honest, I'm very happy he came to me, because if I had gone to other people who probably are close-minded, or who are so much looking at, oh, let's hit the money today, and forget about tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with that, but then you shouldn't put all your everything inside one basket. So I told him the electrical issue should be where to go. Where I am today, yes, I do both electrical and mechanical, but towards kind of I find electrical side much more rewarding. So I focus more on that. People who have given me their cars to work on could tell you that these days I just contract um, the mechanical side out. When I mean contract, I means I get other people involved to work with me on the mechanicals. They just handle it. Of course, I don't run a workshop, like have a physical mechanical workshop. I could tell you, being your car, I'm the owner of this workshop. So this whatever vehicle am doing a repair that doesn't belong to me had to be done at someone else's workshop. I have an arrangement with them. So I've been very cool. Since it's their workshop, I won't just bring it there. I'll be doing it by myself. So they will have to get involved, and after I pay them off. So the mechanical side, yes, they handle it. Of course, I were under my supervision. There are areas that they understand better than I do, those mechanical. So, however, my supervision there is not to dictate something they know better than I do. But however, to make sure it didn't go out of the proper way of doing things, and then also to, in as much as that is their area of specialty, it doesn't mean I will let you mess up a mechanical side because you are supposed to be a specialist in that regard. No, there are things I know how to do. There are things I understand how to do. There are things I probably know very well how to do, but because I don't have that much interest on that side of repairs, and because of that, I probably didn't bother to get these tools required to do those things. So it doesn't mean I don't know how to do it or how it is done properly. So I'll say, insist it must be done exactly the way I want it to be done, or at least I must follow my own um, diagnostic procedure or elimination method. I always tell people when it comes to mechanical, most I apply that. Even electrical sometimes, depending on the nature of the issue with the vehicle, I apply that elimination method. This one will start with, remove this, let's look at it physically, or this and that. So, um, so I explained to the boy that the future for now is the electrical. In fact, not just for now, that's what it is. It's electrical as far as auto industry is concerned. So if you want to limit your study on mechanical engineering or mechanical side of cars, the future will go, you will be stuck, and the future will just jump you. Right now is electrical. So I also took my time, started explaining to him currently what it's like for with the current ICE vehicles, modern I was actually was using Peugeot to explain. It's better when you're explaining, you use what you have authority over. In that case, Peugeot, I can be able to tell you authoritatively this and this and this is, explaining the system. So I try to explain that in as much as these are not yet fully electric vehicle, but most of the system of this vehicle, in fact, generally the entire vehicle is like up to 70% electrically controlled. So it's no longer the days of the mechanics, the local mechanics. It's now you have to evolve. So the electrical technicians are now the ones in the game. So because it doesn't matter how good you are mechanical, it's electrical side of the vehicle that be able to tell you most time what is wrong with the car. In fact, you have to even rule out the electrical before you even go mechanical, unless it's obviously a mechanical issue. I mean, the brake system now these days are electrically controlled. The engines are electrically controlled. The gearboxes for the automatic transmissions are electrically controlled. I mean, which part of the mechanical on a modern Peugeot car you can say is everything is pure mechanical? So you have to start with the electrical before you even go. Unless you see the engine has blew up and you see it mechanically, it's done. Automatic gearbox you can tell it has wrecked. Or you could see that the brake pads has actually worn off completely, which will still show you electrically most times on the instrument panel that your brake pad has worn, or your ABS forebear, or your disc has actually worn completely. Yeah, mechanically you can see the disc as well. So it just few. That's what I'm saying. The modern Peugeot car, it basically few mechanicals that you can do without using electrical to do the diagnosis. So I took my time to explain to him and why, I told him in few years to come, you must, the European countries, two European countries, they will start. They've made it a law. Most of them, or some of them, made it a law that they will dish or ban ICE vehicles, internal combustion vehicles. That's talking about the ones who have the conventional engines in them. So they ban them. For now, that's the law. They've not started, but some 2020, 2035, some 2040. Probably it could change before then. They could change the policy. So I was trying to explain to him that it's just a question of time. It will start to reflect in Africa as well. It may take a while, but it's coming. So that should be where you should be heading. Since you are going to school, tertiary institution, you are looking at spending another how many years? 5? I don't know. Thereabouts. Maybe you could spend about 7 years by the time you do your NYSC and all that. So now go fully into the labor market. You realize by that time it could be towards when the electric cars might start coming in. Even if they don't at that time, the ICE, the newer ICE vehicles that will be coming in will be almost up to 80 to 90% electrically controlled, such that I mean, if you don't have that knowledge or skills on, diagnosing cars electrically, you probably won't even be able to do any repair on this on such vehicles. So it doesn't matter how mechanically good you are. So he kind of understood where he actually appreciated, because it appeared nobody have sat him down to explain all these things, which was why I believe he wanted to talk to me. You know, it was even though he's a boy, just a young boy, just probably finished secondary school, sitting for jam but want to enter. So still a young boy. I wish I can call a kid, but then you know, out of every male that lives in our area, I was the only one he wanted to approach. He, he was saying a lot of things that is not, yeah, it just not specifically about our industry. He just wanted which part of engineering would make sense in terms of between mechanical and electrical. He didn't talk about any of the other fields of engineering courses or fields of life. I was talking about this and this, which makes sense since he thought I have this engineering paper qualification. So eventually he just started asking other questions that you could see that I have how many cars, Peugeot vehicles specifically. I was wondering, how if there is any joy in that, and that to him, well, at that time, of course, he hasn't started driving, but it depends. And I know at his age, when I was at that age, man, I think I've started driving at that time. Of course, not legally, but I've started driving. But then, I mean, for me at that time, even if you tell me then, would I own up to 20 vehicles if I have the opportunity? I would say, hey, yeah, because it has been me from day one. Who I am right now with cars has been there. It's not like something that just developed recently, so it has been there. So Bobby is not that kind of a car person, but I could understand where he was coming from. What is it? What is in it? Shouldn't that be the same thing? We drive this one, drive that one. Is there any difference to have one and one, this and that? So I sat in down. I said, anyway, I didn't sit in down like literally. I was like, see, listen, So I took him back and started explaining. Now, if I was talking man to him now, even though he's a boy, but it's good to have all these young boys to actually uh, start to learn from day one. That masculine discussion rather than all this boyish and of course at that age what they always talk about girls. Not necessarily girls, but it's always about, oh, how do I chase this girl? Oh, I was able to chase and get this. Oh, I talked to this person. Oh, how do I be a guy man? How do I show confidence? All those stuff. We all pass through teenage age, so I sat in, I was like, see, we probably won't get this now. But do you have any hobby? He said, not really. I said, okay, that's why I didn't, because if you did, if you do, you probably will have understand me better. But I told him, as you grow up, you get a point in life, you realize that there are things that right now you have it, just that he probably have not realized yet, or be assuming that it's wrong because you following the adults, your parents, your teachers are the one telling you how life is, what is wrong and right, what is bad and good. So that's how you're seeing the world now. You have not started having your own logical mind going into fork, into coming into force. You get a point in life where as you are growing up, you realize you have a personality. And that personality means there are things that takes in you, you know, are things that takes in you that you know that, I mean, if not this, it's as if your purpose, your life purpose won't make much meaning. You know, this is one of the things that, I mean, you don't you realize that even if you are the only one in the world without any other person existing aside you, just living in entire place, this is just what makes you tick. One of the things that makes you tick, being alive. You find yourself, always striving for that experience. Let me use the word experience. Striving for that experience. You just want to keep having it, because if you have other thing, your studies, your school activity, everything, still this thing at the end of the day, this is what ticks in you that makes you every time you remember that experience you had, or you want to have it, or you just want to milk life as much as possible because of that experience. So I told him, when you get to that point, you understand me, I now started giving an example. I said, okay, for example, some men, what ticks in them is like to travel the entire world, whatever, as long as they can afford it. Some may not be the entire world, just anywhere, they find it very, very fulfilling, to move around, go visit here and there, travel if they can. Then some, they enjoy. Told him, I said, at your age now, I know you guys will be discussing girls. I told him I wasn't, like I said, it was masculine discussion now. It's not about this thing, talking to him as if he's also a man. You need to start learning on time so that it doesn't get misguided via peer pressure. So I explained to him some men, boys, as they are growing up, as coming up in life, you realize that they can't, I can't say they can't do without, but they enjoy. It doesn't matter how you see it. They're chasing women, spending every fortune they have to buy the nicest clothes, the most expensive clothes, so that they can impress the girls, women around him. Buy the, whatever they are doing, the goal is usually just to attract, or to be able to date every woman or sleep with every woman you can think of, spend. And it comes with money because you have to spend. Even if you don't spend money physically on them, you have to spend to look a certain way so that women will find you. Yeah, is you can take care of me, you can pay the bills for the date night, you can do this. We are men, we know how to do it. So I don't need to. Unless the only women here probably might not understand. You should, if you're an adult, supposed to know by now. So I took him all this and experience. This is what you might say is bad, it's sinful. Forget all that. That is for religion. I'm talking about man, nature. What ticks in every man. It's not about discipline and self-control. That's what determines what you choose to do out of your instinct you have in you. So it's not about what we are told. It wasn't. All these things were not there when you were born until people started bringing it in from day one, from school, in your family, in your house, and all that. So keep those ones aside. I'm talking about humans as a nation. What ticks in you? The other things too. People also enjoy learning all kinds of things. Some might be, I just want to keep having seeing figures in my account. As long as I keep seeing these figures increasing, that's the only thing. So they will do anything, even if they will starve themselves for decades to keep having seeing their bank accounts keep increasing, or investments keep, everybody, every man have what ticks in them, what things that makes them to want to wake up every morning, and so that every morning, as in they look out for it. Every man, sometimes there will be downs, but when those things will now bring you back on your feet when you remember, or how, go through that experience again that you aspire for. you know. So I treat all these things as experiences. So when that time comes, if you are a car person, you don't need to explain yourself to anybody why you want to or choose to have more than one vehicle. I gave instances of someone that owns how many Peugeot vehicles? Is it 20 or 30? That which I'm told in the country, every now and once in a while, you do a car show, is compound, mostly a classic Peugeot vehicles, Citroen vehicles, and few other European cars, stuff like that. Mostly classic, not these newer cars that cost probably millions of dollars by now. People, usually the poor man that says old cars, classic cars are for poor people. You don't know. It's poor people that actually drive newer cars when you look at it like that. Unless you're talking about exotic or expensive these things. If you're talking about classic cars, it's not, a poor man cannot own such car. As in maintain it in that condition, keep it as it is 30, 40 years after production. I mean, is you have to be you have to be able to feed well, because it get a point to source for parts. It won't be a child's play. I mean, so you have to spend almost like 3 or 4 times to source for a part you get from a new car, because most time you have to order outside or look for. I don't want to go when you own a classic car, you understand, So I explain all those things to him. So say if you are talking about me, I own how many Peugeot cars for now. These other men, I will give an example of a senator in Nigeria that owns, I don't even know how many, mostly exotic, some classic as well, or maybe a few of them also. But you wouldn't see him that way. But you probably seen it in my own, because we probably live on both on the same street. So, human nature. So when the time comes, I understand. Now, let me round this up, because some might not be wondering why is all this, Uh, the reason why I decided to do this video is to encourage the young boys and then the fathers. Yes, I'm a monk, so I have no issue, no child, nothing, and I have no plans or care at all to have, no desire, you know. But I think men should start getting involved with their sons, boys around them, to actually instill that masculinity in them. Because when you don't, they grow up confused. Luckily for me, I had the opportunity. What happened today was almost the same thing I experienced when I was growing up. I think it was I think at that time I've entered university, and so this security man at St. John of God Secondary School, Oka. That's where I lived that time. So those of you who live in Oka, Anambra State, if you know St. John of God Secondary School, that's where I grew up. I live in the staff quarters there for years. So every night when I come back from school after lectures or doing all my waka waka daily activities, in the night, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., I'll walk down to that security gate, and there are about 3, 4 elderly men, they do shifting, They come there. I'm talking about elderly, very old men. No, they will be talking. We will just be talking. They will be telling me a lot of things. Their life experiences during the civil war in Nigeria, what they experienced, how horrible human beings could be. Um, some of the things they wish they could do over if they had the opportunity, and they do it differently. Some of the things they had the opportunity to do, but they couldn't do it, this and that, and they wish they had listened to their instinct to do those things. So, I was still a boy at that time. Yeah, call me a teenager then, but I was talking to adults, and they were instilling all those, um, I could call it masculine knowledge in me. Kind of make me became. Some people will tell you, "Oh, you talk like a wise man." Sometimes I say, "Yeah." Thanks to those men. My father was there, of course, but I needed more, and I was getting it too from them. You know. So, men, you have Peugeot cars. Sometimes, I'm not saying your son should be a car freak like me. I'm not. That's not what I am asking. I'm saying, do you get your son involved? Do you have this kind of conversation with him? How often do you open your engine bonnet and draw your son by the side? Show him some things. Oh, this kind of things. You shouldn't touch water here. This and that. This is the kind of thing. You see, you might say it's so irrelevant. You should be reading his book. What I mean, it's about development of his brain, because eventually he won't be there in future. Look at this boy. How come he didn't go to his father to seek for that opinion? I don't know whether his father is there or not. But he came to me. So there are sometimes you'll be able to. My point is for him to be able to make the right decision in future as a man when you are not there, or even when you are there, it might not be from you. The right decision may not mean, okay, you will not seek opinion, but you will be able to seek from the right person. Start instilling some of these things. And not everything is about book, 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 book. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, look at book. Let's come back to your book. How many paper qualifications do I have in engineering? Zero, nothing. But I'm here teaching engineers on cars. I'm not saying all the engineers, but most people who are following me, who are seeking for advice on automobile or their issues with it, they're also engineers, both mechanical, electrical, and the rest. I have zero paper qualification. Nothing, no background. I do, I did, but just how many months? And that was it. But I was able to develop it on myself. I learned the system and do all those things. And look at it. I'm happy I have this knowledge, because one way or the other, one of the things that keeps my lifestyle the way it is. Of course, I have other things I do, but I could say, yeah, this contributes to my current lifestyle. So you don't know tomorrow. Don't stop thinking that everything, you already planned the life for your son and everything. You have your Peugeot car there. So how do you engage him? Let him start getting his hand. It's oily sometimes. Stop making everything about, it will develop his mind. He will think differently. He will be able to, I don't know. I just wanted to do this, and encourage. If you are a very young boy, and if you want, yeah, you can always approach me. We'll talk. I'm not saying physically one-on-one like that all the time, but but it doesn't. If you are very young, yeah, if you see me, to stop me, and this is what you want to talk to me, yeah, we can talk. Of course, it's not like you are stopping me to buy. You want to seek for advice to buy a car. If you are that young, I will not entertain such discussion, because we shouldn't be discussing that at that age. But if you want to talk about repairs, all those things, advice, and all that stuff in life, things, just I was telling the boy, men are so attracted to machines. We are mechanical. This is how our brain works. Forget that modern life now has make most men very, very feminine. Everything they all look for. Don't even know. No, but that's what built the civilization. When you think mechanically, your mind goes certain ways and the rest. I don't know. So I encourage you. Do that to your sons, to your nephews, to your boy in your neighborhoods or something. If it comes to you, you know, do that. I won't say men discussion because he's not yet a man, Besides, he's still a boy, but that masculinity you need to start developing in that child because when he's still a boy, he's still under influence of peer groups, you know. It could be in anywhere, in any form. If it's, some may not have father who is actually care about mental development of the son into manhood, the proper becoming a proper man, you know. So I encourage you that there are so many things cars can make you teach you as a man. People don't get that. So many things can teach you. You don't have to be a technician. So many things can teach you if you are a man. It's not about learning how to bet. You see, it's from primary school days. My father will come. Why is the movie? Sometimes we just watching 504 G and Inji Bay by himself. He will come to make this so. Spring water here. Do this so. I remember sometimes he will even remove the spark plug himself. Was he doing that kind of repair? And he wanted us around then. Hold this on, do this. That as he was doing those things, of course, both myself and my brother, and so of course, I eventually am the one that became the car freak in the family. But it wasn't only me. Myself and my brother were, we went through the same formation, the same training and everything to my father. So, but he also helped him his own way. That's what I'm saying. It makes you to start thinking as you are growing up. It affects your mental faculty. And then everything, yo, that's femininity, guys. It's time for how decision will come in future for that your son. And it's now when they are young, they need to develop to be able to make the right one. Even when they make the wrong one, they can be able to pull themselves out of it because they are meant to make wrong decision every once in a while. Otherwise, you are not humans. You are a human being. You are meant to. It's meant to happen. So when it happens, like I say, you're not there. He'll be able to figure it out. So I won't be deceived or misguided by people around him. You saw me doing my own things every now and then. And he wanted to understand. From the way he was saying, he was trying to understand how come I didn't care about because he knew that probably some of my neighbors would be wondering, this guy, why is it, Peugeot. Yet everybody is driving Japanese. Yeah, this guy is already doing Peugeot. How come I'm going against the grain, the crowd? And I'm doing it proudly. And he wanted to know why, how come, what is it? As young as he was actually thinking of that. So this is what I wanted him to learn, irrespective of whichever brand he decide to, if he wants to become a technician, car technician, whatever brand he can venture into. It's all about, I'm doing Peugeot because the interest and passion I have for the brand doesn't mean they are the best in the world. It doesn't mean I don't also appreciate other brands or some other brand. I'm not saying all. Some are to me kind of, I don't know. At least not like the brand per se, but some of their models are just crap to me. Or products, they're just crap to me. Even Peugeot, some Peugeot cars kind of crap to me. It's not saying they are not good, just that it's not for someone like me. We can't match the purpose what I need in a car. It means nothing to me. The people that I can serve, but not to me. So same thing with other this thing. So it was a full. I really want to do this because I really enjoyed it, and I decided let me share it because I know a lot of people following me on these project activities, married men have sons or don't have sons, they have nephews or planning to get married in future, have children, you keep that in mind. Once in a while, call your son, as he's growing up. Go beyond the normal father to son relationship, like, yeah, I'm ordering you, I have the authority over you. Yes, I get that, but then even while you are doing that masculine discussion, you don't need to go deeper into experience you've had, so that, of course, you won't tell your son everything. You might get a point you are when he's already an old adult. Yeah, why not? Because it will help to deter him from making similar mistakes if you actually tell him, because it's between you and him. I know certain things my father said to me, which no other person in my family know. At least I don't know whether he told others, but it was something probably he was not proud of. But he told me as an adult. I will go to grave with it. Even my mother will even know about it, you know. But it's helping me one way or the other, because it helps in the decision. He told me mistakes he made, and so start having that. Your car could help you, even whether you like your Peugeot car or not. Sometimes once bring it in, tell him some of the issues they are having. Son, this car wants to kill me, this and that. Do you know this and that? What you do, you start making his brain, I don't know how to say that. Like I say, men are naturally attracted to machine, you know. We are mechanical men. Biologically, we are kind of mechanical. That's why you see every man, you always want to fix something, It doesn't have to be a car. It doesn't have to be, you want to do this, wants to provide, wants to do it. That's just the nature. These days now, everybody is so fixated on Western education, as if everything that comes out of there is the life. That's everything about life. No, there is more to their life than that. Whatever you learn in school, So, I hope this video makes sense. But let me put this thing there, because I told him it's not about that I have how many. It's because I have the capacity. I have that capacity to explore my passion and interest. The capacity, yes. Say ability, okay. But I say capacity in terms of, because it wasn't all those while when I was in the secondary school, university, I was dreaming of having a car, like, even though I was driving my father's that time. In fact, he gave me the car before I enter university, basically. Like my first year in university, kind of say, oh yeah, this car basically like yours. It was still his name, but it basically became mine. I was the only one that used the car throughout until the car was sold for how many years. So, like I say, it's better. But the point is, I didn't remember what I was trying to say. Oh, yeah. So the point I was trying to make was, at that time, I had all this dream. I had a dream then I would own a 505. I would own my own, another GL, mine, and also at a point 505 V6. I had that dream. I was in university then. It was going on in me, but I didn't have the capacity to make that happen. It was a passion. Interest. I always, look at, even later on, before I also finished university, I also had that dream of owning a 406 of exactly this color. Okay, was it this? Yeah, this particular color that I have now. But before I had that dream. I also had a dream that, own a 605, which I eventually had. When I mean dream, I'm not just saying, I just came to mind one day. No, I was always thinking it, running it. In fact, I was like, when imagining it, basically daily. It was every day I feel happy imagining that experience in my head. But I didn't have the capacity to own these cars at that time. But now I do. So that's the point. I was trying to make him realize that when you get to a point in life as a man, you realize that there are things that one of the things that makes you want to live in this life, irrespective of what your religion is telling you about life, that this and that you're supposed to. But other than that, there are other things that makes you go wild. Like I mean, life is good. You want to live it. You want to enjoy it as best as possible. And when you have the capacity and the ability to be able to explore that experience, why not? As long as you have nothing to do with any other person, you're not endangering any other person. Why not? So that's why I was telling him, you know, if you're into cars, when there are so many people, how many do I have? I mean, come on, there are men that owns, wow. If I go, I can't even talk about how many figures they have in their name. So that's who they are. It means that that's why I mean, so who are you then to decide what should be the best thing for them to be happy throughout their life? When they have whatever they are doing have nothing to do with you. It doesn't affect you, it doesn't stop you from living your own life, doing whatever it makes you, So I was trying to explain that you get to that point, you are still a boy now, you will. But I understand, even right now you might have, but then you probably feel, of course, you are still under your parents or whatever. So you don't really have your own mind, right? You have your own mind, but you can't explore whatever is in your mind right now, especially everything concerning what you want. That have nothing to you have that means no harm to anybody. But just for you to stay happy, Because of course, I'm not saying if your interest is to go and kill another person, you should go and do it. No, what I mean was have nothing to do with any other person. That's pose no harm to any other person. Yet you can afford to do it and it's legal. Why not? So who gives a rip about what this other person is saying, thinking? But that person is busy, maybe chasing every woman around. But in his own case, his own lifestyle is better. His own hobby is better than yours. Or the person is busy going visiting the whole world, spending like, but all the money is spending in the vacation, going from one place to another. So that one well spent, but your own is not well spent. His own is better in the eyes of who? God? I mean, I could go on and on. So I try to explain it. Don't worry, I can understand where you're coming from. You're too young to understand. But don't let that type of thinking uh, uh, be with you all throughout your life as a man. Because it means other people will be controlling your thoughts. You can't even be able to live your own life. You have to be other people's life, whatever they want. In fact, mostly what you think they want is what you will be doing. That's a miserable life. So that's what my point. In as much as I'm always talking about Peugeot, discussing this and that, trying to educate, showing some of the things, sure, but also know that you as a Peugeot owner, you also have a tool. You have something. You have a son you can use. I'm not telling you how to raise your son. I'm telling you how you consider it because I gain from it. Once you do sometimes use that your distance to make your sound a masculine man. That's the best advice I can give. Okay, so I think that's all for this video.